Happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Tips and Tricks. Gorgeous weather outside, nice and warm, and the start of grilling season. Man, I love it. Myself personally, I'm a year-round griller, but grilling season officially begins when Memorial Day weekend gets here. So it's time to grill. There's no better way to start than grilling some chicken. Let's go over a few things that we're going to be doing today. This year is kind of a different year in that there's social distancing, a lack of social gatherings. So it's hard to get together and have a family barbecue or a cookout with neighbors and friends. So I thought it would be nice to make a meal that you could eat at home and maybe share with some people. And if not, just be with your immediate family and enjoy a nice dish together. We're going to be making some grilled chicken. We're going to saute some summer veggies, and we're going to roast some potatoes in rosemary. It's going to be beautiful. I've got everything laid out here. Got our veggies, some potatoes and chicken. I mean, look at these. Look at these veggies. Huh? The colors themselves, it just screams summer to me. Red bell peppers, orange, yellow, green, sliced up a summer squash, some green zucchini. Beautiful. All I've done is take all that. I sliced up the zucchini and the squash so they're nice and big. Huh? Nice and big. And then I went ahead and cut and cleaned all the peppers. Just into chunks. Not too big, not too small. If you remember from the last video where we did the teriyaki ramen, I cut out all the fiber. Because remember, we're doing restaurant quality food. Aesthetics are everything. So we have to make it beautiful. One way to do that, get all this middle part out. Cut it all out, trimmed it all off nice and easy, and chopped them up. Got those ready for our sauteing. For our potatoes, we're cutting them up half moons. I went ahead, peeled the potatoes, and I'm cutting them up. And I want to make sure that you can see, just a little tip on how to cut them to make it nice and easy. So you first cut it in half. So 2 halves. And then take those halves and make your half moons. Not too thick, 1/4 of an inch. That's all you need. The thicker they are, the longer they take to cook. Remember that. Get those cut up. Not doing anything to them. I peeled the potatoes, rinsed them off, and then dried them with a paper towel. Because you don't want your potatoes to be too wet when they go in the oven, because we're going to be using olive oil. There we go. So we got our potatoes cut up. And what we're going to do, we're going to cook this in order so that everything can be done at the same time and is nice and hot. First thing we want to do then is the potatoes. We're going to roast those in the oven. They're going to take the longest. I've set the oven today at 450 degrees. I've cooked these potatoes 3 times in the last 2 days. I've used 3 different ovens, and no 2 sets look the same. And here's why. No 2 ovens share the same temperature. 450 in one, maybe 425 or 470-ish in another. So it really depends on your oven how high or low to go, but you want a higher heat. 450, 475, 500 is the max, and if you're getting that high, you really need to keep a close eye on these potatoes. The reason why we're doing a hot temp like that is we want to form that nice roasted crisp outside and cook the middle all the way through, okay? Super easy to do, you just got to pay attention. So I preheated the oven to 450 degrees. I'm going to take our potatoes, and all I'm doing to them, salt and pepper. That's it, salt and pepper, while they're in the bowl. I put a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of finely ground black pepper into my cup here, and I'm just pinching, a bunch of pinches. Toss them however you want to toss them, but you want to get it everywhere. Grab a spatula, just move them around. You don't need anything. The starch in the potatoes, that's going to hold the salt and pepper together. It's going to get it all on them. And believe it or not, you can put a lot, okay? Maybe 3 good pinches, and if you remember from a while back, one of my pinches is 1/4 teaspoon, so I put 3 of those because potatoes are like sponges. They soak up a lot. It takes more than you would think. to season a potato. So you see, I just got the salt and pepper all over. That's it. Next thing I'm going to do, sheet pan. And I'm going to grease it down with some extra virgin olive oil. We're talking about a tablespoon. 2 tablespoons at the most. And I want to get it everywhere because I don't want the potatoes to stick. I want to make sure they get a nice crispy outside, but I don't want them to stick to the pan because then you defeated the purpose. Take your potatoes, spread them out on your sheet pan here. Okay? You don't want any 2 pieces clumped together. There we go. Did everybody get their rosemary? Key to the potatoes. This is such a beautiful, oh, it's a beautiful smell, and it's such a great flavor when it cooks. I got a bunch of fresh rosemary. You don't want to use dried rosemary in a situation like this. You want some nice fresh rosemary. Take it all off the stems, all the leaves off the stems, and then chop them up. That's your trick. You got to chop them up. That's how you release the flavors that's inside this herb. Chop it all up. Let it open up. How much did I cut? I cut all of it. I cut it all, and I put it all in here. Chopped it up fine. And I'm just going to sprinkle it everywhere. How much? I don't know. Until it's everywhere. Because again, cooking potatoes, they soak up a lot. You're not going to over-season. You're really not. It's going to cook in. Okay? Here we go. I got them everywhere. Now, these are going in the oven, 450 degrees, and in about 15 minutes, we're going to give them a look, probably flip them over. Let's get them started. Look at that. See, the rosemary's everywhere. You can't have too much. Can't. Now, okay, let's talk about the chicken a little bit. The potatoes are in the oven, so we've got time. We want to time this out. It's only going to take 10-12 minutes to saute our veggies and about that long to grill the chicken. So we've got some time, and while we have that time, let's go over the chicken and how we're going to prepare it. Now, again, we are making restaurant quality food. The aesthetic, the look, I'm going to keep saying it, super important. It's not easy to grill chicken. Especially not easy to grill chicken and make it nice and juicy and not dried out on the inside or crispy on the outside. Nice, evenly cooked, juicy grilled chicken is not a super easy thing to do, especially considering that when you go to the store, 8 times out of 10, your chicken is that thick. This is not easy to cook on the grill all the way through without drying it out. It's not. Here's another trick for you. In restaurants, we do a lot of things. You take a chicken breast like this, take a mallet to it, pound it down to make it nice and thin. If you would like, you could absolutely do that. That makes it big and flat and, in my opinion, takes away a little bit from the look. Another good idea, butterfly it. That's what I did today. I took the chicken breast, I got 3 chicken breasts in a pack, I butterflied them. I made them into thinner pieces. This will grill all the way through, we'll keep an eye on it, and it's not going to dry out. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want this nice, big, thick piece of chicken grilled on your grill, but you don't want it dry. So, 2 other things you can do. Number 1, put your chicken on the grill, get some nice grill marks on it, which we'll go over when we get out there. Once you've got both sides with some marks on them and they're nice and diamond shaped and has a nice grilled feel and look to it, you know what you can do? Take the chicken off the grill, wrap it up in a piece of aluminum foil, put it back on, close the top. You let it sit for a few more minutes, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Open up that foil and check your temperature. It's going to be cooked all the way through at 165, and it's still nice and juicy because kept all the moisture inside with the foil. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with it. It is going to be really nice and juicy. Something else you can do, and a lot of people don't like to do this at home, but it is done and quite often in a lot of restaurants. Get it on the grill, get it cooking, get it nice and grill marked on both sides. Take it off the grill, throw it in your oven at 350 degrees for just a few more minutes, and it'll finish cooking the middle of it, and it'll be nice and juicy. Have that nice grill look and feel on the outside and taste, but soft and juicy in the middle. So many things, many ways you can do that. I recommend trying all three of them because frankly, it's fun to experiment. Today, we butterflied the chicken. We're gonna have them nice and thin. Let me butterfly this last piece for you, and I'm gonna explain it all. Again, really sharp knife, going into the middle and opening it up. We're gonna create two pieces. Let your knife do the work. Be gentle. You don't need to force it because we're just making two thinner pieces out of one thick piece of chicken. There we go. Now, all we're doing to our chicken today is olive oil and some homemade seasoning. That's it, all right? First thing I'm gonna do, remember, always wash your hands when dealing with raw meat, especially raw chicken. Always, always, always. Here's what we're going to do. One hand will touch the chicken, the other hand will not. That's not a trick, it's just that way I don't have to keep washing my hands. Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil goes on our chicken. Get it, mix it all together. Get the oil on the chicken. Extra virgin olive oil. It's nice and light, and I think it has a great flavor. I love olive oil by itself. It's nice, really nice flavor. It's a good base. It's a good start. Now, made a rub. Very easy rub to put on this chicken. Garlic powder, 1 teaspoon. Onion powder, 1 teaspoon. Oregano, 1/4 teaspoon. Basil, 1/2 teaspoon. Kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon. Ground black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon. That's it. Mixed it all together, and I'm going all over the chicken. All over. That's too much. I don't want to over-season. No, it's not. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. It's going everywhere. This is a light seasoning. It's not a strong, heavy marinade or a rub. This is just some few herbs that we have in the house to bring out some flavor in the chicken. Because we are going for a nice, light Memorial Day weekend summerish dinner. It's going to fill us up, but not leave us with that heavy feeling. All right, we have got our chicken seasoned, olive oil rubbed, and ready to go. Just gonna let that sit out for a few minutes. Just get it a nice room temperature-ish feeling and let that seasoning sit on there for a while. Potatoes are in the oven. Let's focus on our veggies. So we've gone ahead and we've chopped up and we've cleaned red, yellow, orange, green peppers, zucchini, summer squash. Haven't done anything to them. They're just in the bowl, all chopped up. We're gonna take this, put it on the stove, and saute it in olive oil, and finish it off with white wine, with some salt and pepper, and that's it. Fantastic light, summery flavor, and the juice from the peppers and the wine makes a nice sauce to put everything on top at the end, okay? So that's all we need to do for that. We're gonna go ahead and saute these veggies right now, get that started, and have a lot of fun doing it. Okay, we are ready to go ahead and saute our veggies. I went ahead, got a nice pan on the stove, turned it on about halfway. I'm gonna drop some olive oil. All we need is some olive oil, not a super amount, tablespoon at the most. We'll let that get hot. While that's getting hot, let's check these potatoes. After about 12, 13 minutes, yeah. See, we're getting some color. You flip them over, get them nice and brown. You see that brown color? Go ahead and turn those over. That's what we want. There we go. Those potatoes are cooking. So we did about 12, 13 minutes on one side. I'm going to flip them over for about 10 more, and they'll be done. So 25 minutes at the most, and your potatoes are done. Halfway through, flip them over. I'm going to take our veggies, dump them in. Sizzle. I love sizzle. Veggies are in. I'm going to get those cooking. This will not take long. Salt and pepper. 1, 2, 3 good pinches of salt and pepper. And that's it. Let's go over this for a few minutes while these get started. As far as your timing is concerned, this is the steps in which to do this. The potatoes are going. They got halfway through, so we started cooking the veggies. The veggies are only going to take a few minutes, but here's the best part about it, and a trick that we use in the restaurant business. Get the veggies going, get them tossed, get them cooking. 3/4 of the way from being done, turn the heat down. Turn it down to nothing, and then head outside to grill your chicken. Spend the time outside grilling the chicken, and when the chicken is done, bring it right back in. Turn your veggies up. They'll get good and hot, and then it's time to plate. So the timing is perfect. What we're going to do, we're going to get these veggies going and get the potatoes out of the oven, wrap those up so they stay nice and hot, and head outside to grill our chicken and let these veggies just simmer as soon as they're done and ready to go. But you hear it? Yeah. You hear that sizzle, that crackle? Things are getting started. All I have in here right now is salt and pepper and olive oil. Get those mixed up together. Oh, lost one. It's a tragedy. I'm sorry. Come on. Happens all the time. Come on, don't say you've never done it. Everyone has tried to flip the pan like they see on TV and something goes flying. Happens to me. All right. These are cooking. Perfect. That crackle, huh? I love that crackling sound. And you don't have to do much to this. You don't need to toss them a lot. You just need to let them cook. You need to let them do their thing. Did you notice how bright the colors are? How bright and shiny? You want to keep that. And the best way to do it is to keep an eye on this. Don't let it overcook. Don't let it sit too long in a heat. Keep it moving. They're getting nice and soft. You want to keep that beautiful color. And the best way to do it is to just keep an eye. Now, they've been going for a while. We've got some liquid coming from the peppers and the squash, which is a good thing. Everything is cooking out. I've got our white wine. I took some white wine. I ended up getting a nice bottle of Chardonnay. And I poured in, this is a cup of Chardonnay. I'm not going to use this much, but I measured it out so we would have a fair amount. And I'm going to pour about half of it, maybe a little more. I just love that crisp, clean smell that comes with cooking with wine, especially white wine. It just has this beautiful smell to it right when it hits the heat. And you hear that crackle, it just releases. Oh, I love it. I'm going to let this go for a couple minutes and let the veggies cook in that wine. And there's our sauce, if you will. That's what we're going to pour on at the end. tie all these flavors together. Now that we've got our wine in there and we see a little boil coming, this is the perfect time to go ahead, pull your potatoes out of the oven because it's been 25 minutes and that's all they need. We're going to turn this down to low and let it simmer, and we're going to head outside and grill our chicken. Perfect timing. Down to low, heading outside. All right. All right, here we go. It's time for the main event. The part that we have been waiting for, outside and grilling. I love this. So, let's go over a couple things. First thing first, your grill, it's on. Preheat it, let it go for a while. You don't want to play with your grill until it gets to be at least 500 degrees. Trust me on this. Aesthetics, flavor, ease of cooking, 500 degrees. Get it on, get it nice and hot, really, really hot. Once you get it up, I always turn mine down a little bit after I get it good and hot because I just don't need all that heat to continue. Don't want to listen to too much noise. Turn that down a little bit, but it's good and hot. Next thing is it clean. Brush it off really, really well. Those little black pieces that are sitting on the grates, memories of meals past, ladies and gentlemen, that's not flavoring, okay? That's old food. We don't need it. You should always have a clean grill. Any restaurant you go to, they've got brushes 3 times the size of this, and they are in between every plate a lot of times. Clean it off. Get everything off of there. And lastly, season. Cooking spray. There's nothing wrong with that to keep everything from sticking. Totally fine. I use it all the time. I also use olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil, paper towel. Get it on there nice and liberal like everywhere. And wipe your grill down where you're cooking. That's flavor right there from the oil. And the grease will help keep things from sticking. Chicken likes to stick to grills. Get some oil on there. Beautiful. See? Huh? There we go. Let that sit for a second. Let's get this away from the heat. Make sure we get back up to 500. All right. We're back up at 500. Our grill is clean. Our grill is seasoned. It's ready for our chicken. Each piece nicely seasoned, nice and thin. This will not take long at all. If you don't already, get to know your grill. Figure out where the hottest spots are. The hottest spots of the grill, that's where the thickest end of the meat should go. I've got this big grill here, but my heat is always concentrated over here, a lot more heavily than it is over here. I don't really know why. This happens to be what it is. I want to get all the chicken on there. Nice and there. Now, keep in mind, these are thin pieces of chicken. We don't want to go away for too long because, well, they'll cook. They're going to cook fast, and we want to make it beautiful. So we're going to stay out here. The veggies are on a low simmer, so I don't have to worry about those overcooking. Potatoes are taken care of. They're nice and hot and crispy. Let's focus on our chicken for a few minutes. And it's beautiful. Why would I close the top? Huh? Let's let some heat, moisture build up in there. Let's get some smoke. Let's let it all start to cook. We're creating a coating, a seal on the bottom of the chicken that's actually on the grate right now. We're letting all those seasonings that we put on, we're letting those cook in. We're letting those form a little bit of a crust. You give it a minute, 90 seconds. It's about all you need. Don't touch it for a moment. Let it sit. You see, we're letting it sit for a moment, minute, minute and a half, watching the temperature go between 4 and 5, 4 and 5. See, it's already starting. I'm just going to take each piece, I'm going to pick them up, and I'm going to rotate them. Counterclockwise, 45-degree angle, however technical you would like to get. But I'm going to rotate them all in an opposite direction of how I originally put them down. And I'm going to close the grill. Why did I just do that? I could just flip them over. Well, to be honest, that's the aesthetic piece. That's that part that makes it look the restaurant quality look. In a restaurant, they're going to put the meat on the grill in one angle, and then they're going to turn it to the other angle. Not in all, but in a lot. And the grill marks, they form diamonds. That's what we're after, some diamonds. Give it some nice look, some nice appeal. So we'll let it sit for a moment, another minute. Keep an eye on our heat. So it's been a minute. There we go. Let's flip every one of them over. Yes. Can you see those markings? The nice light markings? Look how pretty that is. See the diamond? Are they perfect? No. They're covered in seasoning, so they're not perfect. Now, we're just cooking the bottom side of the chicken, bringing the temperature up from the middle. There's no need to close it back up. We've got a good seal on there. We've got some nice established color and lines and crispness to all of our seasoning. So let's just let it finish. This is only going to take a couple of more minutes. See, I don't want to touch it too much. Touch it a little bit. Always take a look. Make sure that we're not overcooking one end and undercooking another. But there's no reason to touch it too much. As I said, we butterflied these pieces of chicken, so it doesn't even take 10 minutes to cook it all. We're done. They're gorgeous. We're going to get these off, get them inside. Plate up our lunch. Last things, turn it off the grill. Last thing to remember, use your thermometer. Check your temperature. That's not embarrassing. You want to be safe. You want it to be cooked right. 159, 164, 168, we're done. Over 165, we're done. That's one thing to remember. The other thing to remember when grilling outside, especially in the summertime, if you're not making a cooking video, don't wear a chef coat. Hoi, holy cow. Let's plate our lunch. All right, we did it. Whew. It is great cooking outside. Boy, does it get hot out there. Holy cow. We're done. It's time to plate. Back inside. Turn our veggies back up just to get that heat back up there again to make sure they're good and hot when we get them on the plate. Listen for it. We hear that sizzle? Perfect. We are set. We are done. Let's plate this meal. You've got multiple ways to do it. If you're having people over and you would like to serve this for everybody, there's no need to plate everybody's meal. You could have the chicken out for them to peruse, get themselves some potatoes, and help themselves to a nice bowl of veggies. However they would like to do it. For us, since we're just going to be dining alone at home together, I'm going to plate it up so you can see how it's going to look. I hear those veggies. Give them a toss. They're beautiful. They're hot. Turn them off. They're done. Let's get some of these. Ooh, they're hot. These potatoes in the middle of the plate. See that crispy color? And all that rosemary? Wow. Got a lot of food here, and luckily, neither of the kids are interested in this. So there's more for the wife and I. Yes. Just some few potatoes on the plate. Now, here we go. Veggies first. I want the big pieces. The zucchini and the squash. Kind of put a couple here on top of the potatoes. See? Remember, I'm all about the look all about the color. People eat with their eyes, so we got to make it pretty. Got to make it pretty. There we go, see? Okay. Put this down for a moment. Let's get our chicken. I want to point out another tip. If you haven't noticed, I'm not using a fork to pierce our chicken. I've been using tongs the whole time on purpose. I don't want to pierce into this meat. The only time I'm going to do that is when I check the temperature. Otherwise, don't use a fork on the grill or those big grilling, barbecuing forks. Don't do that. Poke holes in the meat, all the juice runs out, and there goes the moisture. There goes the flavor. It's going to run right out, and you end up with dry chicken. We don't want that. I got our chicken crisscrossed on top there. The last piece is the remaining veggies. The peppers, I'm just going to let them run down the top. Yeah, there's still squash in there. That's okay. I just want to get some of the peppers on there. I love that flavor. Sauteed peppers. Ooh. Some color. Last but not least, the liquid that's left. That's the white wine and the liquid from the veggies cooking. Drizzle it on the top. Not a lot. Just a little. And whisper. I don't know why. I think because it's delicate. Lunch is served. Fantastic. Rosemary roasted potatoes, sauteed summer veggies with white wine, and grilled chicken. Light, filling, refreshing, but not heavy at all. This is beautiful. This screams summer to me. Man, I can't wait. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great time doing it. Have a great time making this. We've added a few things, a little complexity between going outside the grill and coming inside with the veggies, the potatoes in the oven. It's fun running around trying to make sure you get all the timing right. Enjoy making it. Remember your aesthetics. Make it beautiful. Couple of tips to leave you with. Don't pierce the meat with a fork. That's a big one. Check to make sure you're at 165 degrees. Salt and pepper was the biggest thing that we used here today. It's really all we needed. And have a good time. Thank you so much. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. Follow along. Let's do some more cooking. Share with your friends. If you have a suggestion, a question, a comment, shoot me an email, hospitalityinthegenes, Genes, @gmail.com. And I'll see you real soon. The last thing I want to say before we go is thank you. Thank you, everyone. Happy Memorial Day, and thank you for a fabulous first month. I've been on YouTube now for 30 days, and I know that in the world of YouTube, 130, 140 subscribers is just a pebble in that huge pond that is YouTube, but for me, it feels like a win. It's only been 30 days. There's so many people involved and checking and watching. Thank you for that. There's more to come. We're going to do a Facebook page. We're going to make more videos, make more photos, and just have a great time. Thank you all. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.